and together we are a part of storytelling in the art of ballroom. And it is only respectful that we pay our respects to the original storytellers of this land, to understand that sovereignty was never ceded and we are on stolen land.
What does ballroom mean to you personally?
Whoosh, where do I start? For me, I guess ballroom is home, I reckon.
Ooh, so ballroom is pretty much just, it's a safe space. It's a community built of trans women of colour from back in the day, which was a retaliation to, you know, the racism that was faced amongst the queer community, as well as in the outside world of the queer community, in the hetero world.
My name is Nisha Alexander, 27, I'm 27, she, her. I am the DJ for the balls and the Rogue nights. Basically just making sure that every ball has the heart and soul.
So my name is Joshua Taliani. I'm 29 years of age and I'm a First Nation Italian queer man. My people are the Bidra, Kalali and Waka Waka mob. Call me Josh, you can call me Papi, you can call me Father Alexander, whatever. It's all good.
Ballroom is a queer subculture created by Black and Latina transgender women, where people compete and perform at functions known as balls, in ways that embody and satirize gender stereotypes, roles, and social statuses. People on the ballroom scene often form chosen families called houses, cultivating close connections and their own communities. Emerging out of New York in the 1960s, ballroom has since travelled to other corners of the world and has recently made its debut in the Australian queer scene, with the House of Alexander, founded by Mother Eleganza in 2019, paving the way for ballroom in Brisbane.
You go to functions, whether it's in a hall, whether it's in a massive space that's high-end, but you know, it still has those community values.
We are a part of storytelling in the art of ballroom.
And it's pretty much like a cat fight for queers, for the queer community, but it's all love in the end, because we all know that we're coming from the same place, no matter where we're coming from, because we're all there in that community like for the same reason. So
I've always known about ballroom prior to it being started here in Mianjin. It wasn't until Ella was like, hey, let's start a thing called Runway Movement, and then we did Runway Movement for like a bit, and then she brought up wanting to start a house back in 2019, and yeah, I joined the house and we had our first ball at Family back then when it was called the Warehouse, I think.
I got into like dancing, which I thought would be a great expression for me, but for me it was more of just a way for me to like let out. So in doing so, I ended up joining like the hip hop community. I was dancing under Ella at the time, which was like, gosh, 2011, 2012 days. And so this was all hip hop days, and Ella was really, yeah, she was really about the queer community, and I was still straight, which is a big laugh now. But how I really dived into it was just YouTube. I seen videos from like a lot of the icons from back in the day. But there was one video, and it was actually Ella's father in ballroom, Javier Ninja icon, Javier Ninja. And it was his hands, and it was the first time that he walked after training with Willie Ninja for like 2 years. So yeah, I seen that video, and it was a hands video, and he had these gloves. It was at the Latex Ball, I'm pretty sure, 2006. And he had gloves up to here, covered in glitter, and all you see him was like, brah, brah, brrr, and he's like, and like all this glitter just came off, and I don't know why, but just the movement and the crowd, the way they were just going off, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is exactly like when you perform and you see it, but it's literally purely just for being like you could just see the queerness off of it, and just like the tricks and the stunts that they would all pull with their props and everything. It was just like, yeah. And from there, I already knew that I loved it.
Ballroom has provided a community and sense of belonging for queer people of colour over the last several decades, as well as a safe space to explore identity and self-expression, allowing many more to walk through the world with greater confidence and certainty within themselves.
I'd say it feels a lot like a village. Even though we are all from different houses, different states, whatever, just coming together, it always feels nice. It feels like family. And just like real families, you're always gonna have issues with one person or another, and in Ballroom you can have issues with some other bitch from another house, and then we come together, battle it out on the runway, and then at the end it's so good. Like, it is a safe haven for everyone.
And I mean, if you look at the community now and how we all engage with each other, we never would have engaged with each other in the everyday life if it wasn't for Ballroom here. Like, honestly, like, let's be real. It's allowed me to not only engage more with the POC community, but to also find liberation within myself as a First Nation man here, because you go on social medias and stuff and there's people running down our communities, and the one thing that I always say, like with Ballroom, that's so great is you go to like the cultural side and you experience homophobia. You go into a queer scene and you experience racism. Where's the middle? And that's Ballroom. Ballroom is just, and it's shaped me to be so much better. It's allowed me to explore myself in like feminine ways without feeling shy about it, but it also lets me sit in my masculinity too in a really safe way.
Gosh, it's changed my life in so many ways. It's given me a sense of purpose, belonging. It's given me like this whole newfound confidence that I never thought I had in myself. It's really helped me to deconstruct like the way that I think about the world and my personal life, and it's, I don't know, it's everything. I don't know. That's why Ballroom allows you to go out there and be yourself and be kind. If you want a community, reach out. And if you make yourself known, eventually Ballroom folks will start reaching out to you.
Although Ballroom has grown in popularity over recent years through pop culture and the internet, its community, culture and history runs much deeper and demands to be recognised and celebrated.
Ballroom is a sacred thing, and it's a language that you have to understand first. So it's not just a TikTok trend, it's culture.
It's more about coming in with an open mind to know that you have to show like a lot of energy and love and respect for what the culture holds, but also knowing that you have to put in a lot of work on the outside of those spaces. Like, coming to a throwdown's great because it shows the first step of engagement. It's what you do after that. It's how you engage with the community after that, how you support them at their events. If they hold art exhibitions, are you going to show up? If they're doing like just a talk somewhere, are you going to show up?
I mean this when I say this. I don't want it tokenistic. We need our allies to pull up for the girls, honestly.
Do your research, learn your history, engage with the community, and from there you'll know what you want to do.
It is very important to a whole lot of people.
If you are a consumer of Ballroom, if you are a bystander, if you're a supporter of Ballroom, none of that is for nothing if you're not for the girls.
It's not just something to fuck around with. It's people's lives. Yeah.
Ladies, we love you. We celebrate you. Thank you for living. Thank you for continuing.